It was even frightening at the other peaceful end of Raton Canyon, the east end, where Alf, the pet mule of local settlers, slept at night, such sleepful sleeps, under a few weird trees, and then got up in the morning to graze in the grass, then negotiated the whole distance slowly to the seashore where you saw him standing by the waves like an ancient sacred myth character, motionless in the sand. Alf the Sacred Burrow, I later called him. The thing that was frightening was the mountain that rose up at the east end. A strange Burmese-like mountain with levels and moody terraces, and a strange rice paddy hat on top that I kept staring at with a sinking heart, even at first when I was healthy and feeling good. And I would be going mad in this canyon 6 weeks on the full moon night of September 3rd. The mountain reminded me of my recent recurrent nightmares in New York about the mountain of Mien Mo, the swarms of moony flying horses lyrically sweeping capes over their shoulders as they circled the peak 1,000 miles high in the dream, it said. And on top of the mountain in one haunted nightmare, I'd seen the giant empty stone benches so silent in the top world moonlight as though once inhabited by gods or giants or some kind but long ago vacated, so that they were all dusty and cobwebby now, and the evil lurked somewhere inside the pyramid nearby, where there was a monster with a big thumping heart, but also even more sinister, just ordinary, seedy but muddy janitors cooking over small wood fires, narrow, dusty holes through which I tried to crawl with a bunch of tomato plants tied around my neck. Dreams. Drinking nightmares. A recurring series of them all swirling around that mountain. Seen the very first time as beautiful but somehow horribly green verdant mist, enshrouded jungle peak rising out of green tropical country in Mexico, so called, but beyond were pyramids, dry rivers, other countries full of infantry enemy, and yet the biggest danger being just hoodlums out throwing rocks on Sundays. So that the sight of that simple, sad mountain, together with the bridge and the car that had flipped over twice or so and landed flump in the sand with no more sign of human elbows or shred neckties, like a terrifying poem about America you could write. Of owls living in old evil hollow trees that the misty tangled further part of the canyon where I was always afraid to go anyhow. That unclimbably tangled steep cliff at the base of Myanmar, rising to gawky dead trees among bushes so dense and up to heathers God knows how deep, with hidden caves no one, not even I suppose the Indians of the 10th century, had ever explored, and those big spooky rainforest ferns, all lightning-struck conifers right beside, sudden black vine cliff faces, rising right at your side as you walk the peaceful path. And as I say, that ocean coming at you, higher than you are, like the harbors of old woodcuts, always higher than the towns, as Rimbaud pointed out, shuddering. So many evil combinations, even unto the bat who would come at me later while I slept on the outdoor cot on the porch of Lorenzo's cabin, come circle my head, coming real low sometimes, filling me with the traditional fear it'll get tangled in my hair, and such silent wings. How you would like to wake up, how would you like to wake up in the middle of the night and see silent wings beating over you and ask yourself, do I really believe in vampires? In fact, flying silently around my lamplit cabin at 3 o'clock in the morning as I'm reading, of all things, Shudder, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde. Small wonder maybe that I myself turned from serene Jekyll to hysterical Hyde in the short pace of 6 weeks, losing absolute control of the peace mechanisms of my mind for the first time in my life. But at first, there were fine days and nights. Right after Monsanto drove me to Monterey and back with 2 boxes of a full grub list and left me there alone for 3 weeks of solitude, as we'd agreed, so fearless and happy. I even spotted his powerful flashlight up at the bridge the first night, right through the fog, the eerie finger reaching the pale bottom of that high monstrosity, and even spotted it out over the farmless sea as I sat by caves in the crashing dark in my fisherman's outfit, writing down what the sea was saying. Worst of all, spotting it up at those tangled, mad cliffsides where owls hooted hootaloo